The man named Nicky describes himself as naturally attractive and handsome as he leaves a luxurious mansion in Los Angeles. When he was young, a friend of his mother predicted that he would grow up to be a womanizer. She was right. Nicky was caught having sex with that woman by her husband. The dreams of all young womanizers apparently involve an easy life with sexy and wealthy women in Los Angeles and California. Nicky's dream was to have the most luxurious life possible through women, and he had already realized that dream. That night, Nicky goes to a French restaurant where he has been with many attractive women before, but this time, he's looking for more than just a one-night stand. Finally, when he notices his real prey and his powerful experiences prove the woman's wealth, Nicky begins to charm Samantha with his superior communication skills. Samantha understands what he's trying to do and, despite acknowledging his attractiveness, initially rejects him, stating that he can never come to her house. However, Nicky doesn't give up, using the power of words to manipulate her, and eventually, a sweet little kiss becomes his key to her home. Nicky is impressed by the luxurious house but never shows it to maintain his own market value. When Nicky, who is quite confident, tells Samantha, who seems to have a high libido, that he will not sleep with her unless she takes off her boots, Samantha is forced to comply. Nicky advises against having a fully satisfying relationship on the first night, claiming that there should always be an open door. In the morning, Samantha needs to leave for work. Ignoring her, Nicky employs the sleepy smile tactic, ensuring Samantha can't bring herself to wake him. She succumbs and leaves her credit card for Nicky to order breakfast. Nicky enjoys the luxury of the house with a delightful breakfast and makes preparations to score high points with Samantha. Aware that flowers earn 1 point, meals 2 points, and orgasms 3 points, Nicky aims to accumulate a total of 26 points to gain Samantha's complete trust. In the evening, Samantha returns, surprised to find Nicky still at home. However, Nicky's efforts are admirable, and later in the night Samantha, with this man she thought was respectable but who is unemployed, homeless, and carless, has an all-night affair. And the days pass with Nicky collecting these points one after the other. Samantha needs to go to New York for a few days for work. She wants to take Nicky with her, but Nicky is determined to enjoy the splendor of this extravagant life. He throws parties in this luxurious house, which he presents to people as his own. During conversations with his close friend Harry, Helen also joins the party. Nicky, who is afraid of Helen revealing the truth, asks Harry to take the girl away. Meanwhile, a completely drunk girl approaches and asks Nicky to show her around the house. Nicky's house tour always ends up in the bedroom. The next day, in Samantha's absence, Nicky invites Emily, a girl he always hangs out with, to the house. This is the girl who shaves Nicky for the first time. Emily wants a serious relationship with Nicky, but he sees her as nothing more than an object. The next evening, Nicky watches an important football game. The atmosphere seems suitable for his area of professionalism. However, he is caught working with Samantha's unexpected early return. Samantha is aware of the parties he throws and knows there is no love between them. She believes Nicky is just an ordinary person offering sex services in exchange for a luxurious life, and she seems satisfied with this service. A few days later, Nicky is impressed by Heather, a waitress at a cafe. He tries all his tactics to flirt with her, but Heather is a tough nut to crack and rejects him. Nicky leaves without paying for his meal by writing his number on the bill. A few hours later, Heather learns Nicky's address from the delivery person and goes to get her money. Without giving Nicky a chance to say a word, she takes her money and leaves. Heather stays on Nicky's mind. To impress her, he asks Harry to play the role of his assistant. Heather had seen Nicky's luxurious house, so Nicky plans to easily convince her that he is a wealthy businessman, and it works because Heather gives him her number. That evening, Nicky calls her, but Heather says she's not available and will call him back later, closing the conversation. She calls 16 hours later. They meet for dinner, and while Nicky talks about important things, Heather talks to someone on the phone and leaves the table without explanation. This makes Nicky feel insignificant. The next night, Samantha is in the hospital, and Nicky is home alone. He receives a message from Heather, and a few seconds later, he hears a sound from the pool. When he checks, he finds Heather. Nicky expresses his resentment for the previous night, believing she had a boyfriend. However, when Heather explains that she acted that way due to her 17-year-old brother's serious illness, Nicky believes her and shares his sorrow. In the morning, Nicky gets into the car to move Heather's car because there is street cleaning outside. When he sees cigar butts in the car, he becomes certain that Heather has a boyfriend. He wakes Heather immediately, but she, like Nicky, employs the sleepy smile tactic. This convinces Nicky that she is a rich hunter like himself, and he kicks her out. Later, Nicky goes to pick up Samantha from the hospital and is shocked to learn that she had a vaginal tightening operation. The doctor forbids any sexual activity for 5 days. Nicky, however, is not willing to have any idle days. When he returns home in the morning, he faces Samantha's stern attitude because she didn't return any calls during the night. Samantha is also aware that he is constantly with other girls, so she kicks him out. Nicky manipulates her once again, and Samantha forgives him, but this time, Nicky leaves her, claiming to be tired of the relationship. In the evening, Nicky meets Harry at a strip club. Nicky loses his temper when another friend of Harry mistreats a stripper, and he punches him. The punch thrown by Nicky, who already views all girls as objects, angers Harry. In the heated conversation, it is revealed that Nicky slept with Harry's sister, leading Harry to sever all ties with him. With nowhere else to go, Nicky goes to Emily. She, too, tells that she won't be his object anymore and leaves him outside the door. To stay in a hostel, Nicky sells his clothes. He calls his mother, whom he hasn't contacted for a long time, to ask for money, but she hangs up on him. The next morning, Nicky gathers all his confidence and targets an easy prey, as usual. Just when he is about to succeed, Heather appears, disrupting Nicky's game. The two, now knowing each other with all their truths, decide to hunt together. Their target is a rich businessman. The prey finally enters the cage, but Nicky and Heather cannot agree on the share they should take. Heather tells him to sleep on the couch because they are now work colleagues, and she doesn't want to confuse Nicky by allowing him to sleep in her bed. Shortly after, Nicky, using the excuse of the couch being too small, gets into Heather's bed. Heather insists on sleeping on the couch. Nicky persuades Heather to stay in bed, assuring that they can behave like friends. However, Nicky has no intention of behaving. These two con artists seem to have found love and start dating. One morning, Heather receives a package containing rose petals and an envelope, which she discreetly hides the spilled petals. Nicky appears faithful to his love, showing no interest in even easy targets anymore. Upon returning home, Nicky discovers a letter from Heather, explaining that she has to go on a short trip and will be back in a few days. However, Nicky doesn't hear from her for days and decides to pursue his love. He tries to find out where Heather might be from her roommate, Eva, who suggests she might have gone to her fiancé. Shocked, Nicky learns the address from a discarded DHL package. He then goes to Harry, apologizes for everything, and they reconcile. Harry covers Nicky's plane ticket, and Nicky finally finds Heather in the luxurious address in New York. This unexpected visit surprises Heather, but she lets him in. Seeing the luxurious house, Nicky believes Heather is once again engaged in scamming a wealthy target, sharing his experiences and telling her that true happiness cannot be found in this lifestyle. He emphasizes the importance of real love and tries to convince her to come back, but Heather tells him that he is a dreamer detached from reality. Nicky takes out a ring and expresses his desire to face all challenges together, proposing marriage. However, when Heather reveals she is already married to someone else, Nicky is shocked. At that moment, her husband enters. He mistakes Nicky for a courier and gives him a $5 tip. Heather kisses her husband, and Nicky, visibly shattered, leaves. Nursing his heartbreak, he returns to Los Angeles and takes up a courier job. When delivering an order to Samantha, he sees that someone else has taken his place. Samantha and Nicky exchange good wishes. While feeding Harry's frog, Nicky explains that the reason the arrival and departure terminals are separate at Los Angeles Airport is to prevent womanizers, arriving with big dreams every month, from encountering heartbroken womanizers departing. And thus, we've reached the end of this movie. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.